role of technology in a lot of organisations is coming up the strategic agenda. I saw a quote the other day from somebody that said there's only two ways in which businesses compete these days. That's people and technology. The first time that technology has reported into the group chief executive, I think a recognition that I think in every sector obviously, but particularly in hospitality, you're seeing digitisation as fast as you are in many other sectors. In hospitality, the experience you have from the people, our Nandockers in our restaurants, is ultimately what makes you go back, and that's our primary focus. But behind that, I think enabling technology to allow them to give the best experience, but allow customers to interact with us and us to interact with our customers, is probably the next space where we can be different and really succeed. I don't think there is such a thing as a right technology. It's when technology comes together with what you're trying to do in terms of a business outcome and how your organisation, your people are able to use it. As long as you create the right business outcome, then there are probably several technologies at times you could use to do that. So I think focus on the business change you want to create and the business outcome. Don't get fixated on necessarily the same technology everywhere or the same software. As long as you get the outcome right, actually doesn't matter too much if some of the markets take a different route. Some technologies may not be that available, may not be well supported, may be more costly in those markets. And I think so it's being smart around those choices. And being quick to learn when something's not working and have another go, choose something different and go again. It's both a great time and a challenging time for CIOs. I think I started my career in technology when most technology tended to be very back of house, was about enabling the organisation and making the organisation more efficient and more automated. I think the great challenge now is that CIOs sit in a domain and lead a domain that is both one of the big strategic levers that organisations have, but also carries some of the biggest risks that an organisations may face and some of the threats. So we've gone from being, if you like, a more back office or internally orientated role that wasn't necessarily that visible to the outside of the organisation, although there were some exceptions, to one that is front and centre, in terms of growing revenue, understanding customers, delivering brand into the marketplace and how we perform in the marketplace, but also being custodians of data, of protecting the organisation from all sorts of threats that are now out there. So it's really put the role in a very different position. I think it changes many of the way the organisations look at the role, and challenges many of the conventional ways we've done things and thought about things. I was party to a conversation recently where someone actually said that for many years CIOs hope to become a CEO, and they actually said now's the opportunity. But that isn't Chief Executive Officer, that's actually Chief Ecology Officer. And this idea that you are creating an ecology of, or an ecosystem of partners and external organisations, because the only way you can move quickly in an agile way is not to try and do everything yourself. You've got to find partners and innovation and emerging sort of startups, and people are doing some very exciting things, and find a way to bring that into the organisation. I think if you look at some of the big organisations like Amazon, who've been very successful, they're very good at strategically creating an ecosystem and then leveraging that, through data and through understanding and through delivering the services they do to make themselves successful. So I don't get too hung up on titles. I think it's more important what you do, but I think it's more important that the leadership of the organisation and everyone in it starts to think about the role that they want technology to play in a different way.